we're going to go for a very different approach here. It's south to north. It's the long old southeast to northwest.
It's complete polar opposite to what was previous one. It came in from Zaki, ended Millie now. Excuse me, Milta. Now it's starting Milta. It's ending Zaki. So, in theory, everyone can do the same as before. Everyone go to their own spots. You'll potentially see Na'Vi arriving late to Primorsk.
Yep.
You'll see Liquid going up to Yasnaya. You'll see Savage over at Milta Power.
Yep.
Gold, Novo, 4AM, Millie Base. Now, this is something we need to really quickly touch on when we look at 4AM. Sometimes you see teams getting a bit caught off guard, making their way from Millie Base, for example.
Yes.
You got to remember how kind of compound that circle was to get alive with 4 men.
Very good.
Through it. It's pretty decent.
Now, again, though, this is slightly different in the aspect of the way 4AM are approaching this. Last time around, they didn't have this sort of route here. They got almost caught off by Gold on the bridge. That could have been the first kill, but they survived. And they survived well. Let's have a look at what Ghost are up to. This was the team, of course, to win round 1. Now, they're off here starting this one out. So they're over in Pachinki. That became available when the likes of Method and some of the other teams who do frequent that area are no longer around. And that's a very different circle. That brings a smile to my face, and oh no, Mossy, run boy run, they're after you, this is terrible. He's back up arrived, but it's too little too late. He's been mowed down, taken out, and Made in Thailand have done something terrible.
Oh, double teaming with the car. I mean,
oof.
I respect it.
It's gotta hurt.
Just been, one of you knock him over, other one finish him. Fair play to him. 15 points in the bag straight off the bat, just like that. Talking a little bit further about Ghost Gaming. Obviously, we've seen them play very different places. We've seen them try and take around Prim. They can't take Prim now. Na'Vi's here. We've seen them also sit before down in Milta when Vitality weren't there. Now they realize, okay, they've got an analyst, they've got a coach in the back lines. Boys, Pachinki's free. Let's push in, let's take it. They've done that. This is what you want to see from teams who do their homework, who know where their opponents are going to be, who know what spaces and what things are available. We can only do so much homework. Example, Severny.
Severny was meant to be free.
I would not have expected anyone. You don't have Dignitas in there. You don't have Alliance in there. Yep. You don't have these teams that we're used to. And this speaks volumes about this event. It being a global event.
Exactly.
We can look so much and try and read into everything as much as possible, but only on game day and Battle Royale, it is what it is.
It can all change. That's the thing. If teams come into this and they practice a certain way, if they did a boot camp beforehand, however they wanted to approach it, you can make adjustments. Now, looking at that circle, it does sit with, obviously, the favor towards the western side. Now, classically, if you know the CIS region, plays very well towards Na'Vi. They get a lot of freedom off this. Now, is this what we're going to see here, or is this something that doesn't actually bode well for them, because maybe they don't know what they're coming up into? What do we see now being the favorable factor here? Which teams might actually favor from this circle?
I think for me, just to kind of touch a bit more on Na'Vi's point of view, they're amazing players. They're the fraggers. They're incredible. But it's now in the back of the mind that they are down in that bottom 10 of Angers there. Plenty of other ones, and there's only 7 games left. So now you have to play a bit more passive, and you have to be a little bit more careful. We're used to seeing aggression in Europe of, boys, get stuck in. Let's go get a middle compound. Let's chill and let's, approach fights when they approach us and just take them when we have to. Now they have to be a bit more careful, because if they just go steaming into the middle of the map, they could come up against an opponent who's already there, and that'll just cost them yet another life.
Now, I normally complain that Pachinki never gives me good loot, but look at this man right here. He's got a suppressor lined up. He's 2-2'd up. He's feeling it. Obviously, the bag could do a nice little upgrade, but he's having a nice time so far.
Did you just gift him an M24 on the floor there as well? Did he have before we moved switch POVs?
Didn't actually see that.
I think he might have been a 24 as you were talking about loot.
and to be fair, this is one thing I want us to talk about as well. We saw the DMR meta, the sniper meta. When we say meta as well, I guess it's the flavor of the week. It's the current way the game is favorably played. If you're new to the concept of it, I'm sure you're not. I don't need to explain it to you like your children. But still, the point is that it's very prevalent. We're seeing the SKS is coming back in, the minis. The M24 is doing a lot of work, and I love an M24. That thing sounds gorgeous. SLR's doing what, everything is coming back into play. Last time, let's say you guys at home only watch the quote-unquote major tournaments, right? Let's say you watch the bigger tournaments, you catch maybe a couple of games. But last time around, you'd be seeing double ARs. That's not the case anymore. It's way more dependent on that range coming through, and those DMRs, and those snipers.
So they're in the same bag of why you will see a lot of people using the Uzi. I don't know if you guys at home might have been watching, but in the previous rounds, a lot of people will now opt to use the SMGs simply because of the damage multipliers. It's the same with the DMRs. The damage multiplier now on the head, it's ridiculous. You want the DMRs. You want people running these at range. You want to keep your ARs for close range, and now your SMGs as well. 120% damage on limbs. You can literally just spray like a bad man up close and personal, and you will do so much damage.
See, now, I mean, you say this, right? But every time I get the UMP, I get 1 kill early game, I'm thinking I'm a god, I'm doing fine. It would somehow happen that I come to that 1v1 and it's 50-50. I mean, like, I can't even blame him for having an advantage, and I'll lose because he just has an AK. Like, there is still obviously a reason to have that AR, and we might be seeing it here. Larson, though, gets a glimpse and dies! Doesn't live up to his name. He stays alive for now, but he's being pinched. Look on the horizon, look on the hillside. It's Miraku. It's not a monster, but he might be doing somewhat of a similar thing, scaring the life out of this man. Cowering in the corner here. His teammates are not nearby, but he gets a punish on Larson. This could be a disaster. Vard, nade out though. Can he survive on this one? Dies now. Needs to make his mind up. That nade is going to trickle in. And what? He's somehow alive here. Dies. Lives to fight another day. Spots out the player. Spins around. Can't do it. Vard is there. As WTSG to stay alive.
I think he was saved by the sink. I'm quite impressed by that one. Gold-plated? I don't know. Either way, he's dead. He didn't get out of that one alive. Touch a little bit more on what you mentioned over the UMPs. It's a completely, what you said was perfect. It's still 9mm, and you've still got to be aware. If you're going to go up against somebody, you have to be sure that A, you land every single shot,
yes,
and B, you see them first. If they turn around with 7.62, you're dead.
You're done for, but let's never doubt that, that buggy's had better days, hasn't it? No, it's not great. It's a budget buggy. He's on the move. Oh, no.
His teammate's like, sorry, mate, I'm out of here.
I'm off ski. I'll pick you up later. And Winner decided to run and he gets there faster. But yeah, as I said, I think you can't quite doubt the thing. You know, the likes of the Vector, for example, has become such a terrifying gun these days.
Scary.
If you get the extended mag, you know what that thing can do. You get the completely locked out. This is one thing I really like about current PUBG is that everything does have a place to be played. Before, you kind of see everyone by default going for certain loadouts because they were the strongest. Now it's like, actually, I really like this gun. I can work with this. I have the good setup for it. Let's run it. But we are seeing the teams now working their way to that first circle, trying to find that first position, and we'll be seeing who's claimed what.
Obviously, there's not a lot of water in play here, so we do have a good amount of land to play with. People can do their own thing. They can chill for a little bit, get a lot of information, creep in slowly. They don't have to play the edge of the circle. They can at least make a good 1,000 meters in. Gatka's quite busy. You've got 3 teams running around. You've got Genji Black on the top of Georgia Ball Hill.
Oh, Knights! How is he alive? How has he run this gauntlet? Oh, the buggy flips! Oh my god, he's... No! James puts him out of his misery in the end, but that is one way to go down for Knights.
Hey, Kramer. Down in a ball of flames, quite literally. Speaking of flames, look at that car. What's this? Do they think this is some sort of car show? Just lining them all the...
Do they make them look good at least?
Yeah.
Just polish them.
Yellow, orange, flamey one in the middle. Why not?
Flamey one in the middle. Is that the technical term?
It is technical.
Flamey one.
Flamey.
We can call it flamey. Any Na'Vi fans out there would be like, oh, flamey.
I recognise that word. Liquid, interesting play from them.
Ooh,
playing up on
position.
the. I mean, obviously it's elevated. You've got line of sight on TG if they're going to be looking outside the apartments, and look at where Knights are in the middle.
It's not a peak though. That's the one thing. It plateaus there, right? You get the small kind of huts.
Little weird thing.
But you can be collapsed on. I mean, it's unlikely.
Yep.
Teams might traverse that way, but you tend to not. I mean, obviously in the back of Liquid's minds, they're very aware where teams like to go. I think the desk highlighted earlier the highways, where teams will use those rotation routes that are not just roads. Again, though, it's one of those positions where it may not have the sustain, but we see that Liquid are mobile. They'll hop up on their horse and they're off.
I think talking about individual is something we don't do enough when we look at actual, individual players. Scoom's been playing Armour for God knows how many years.
He's an old man of esports.
He is. He's a very old man of esports, and he knows how to play this game. He knows how to play third person. He knows how to be at least lane, giving the lay of the land. And it's something that a team like Liquid are going to do, like any of these teams should be doing, to be honest with you. It's going back, looking at your POVs, in matchmaking, just driving around and looking at the terrain. See,
the thing as well is, a lot of the time these teams, and these players, you get the experienced players who know how to improve, how to work on their skill and their ability. And you're seeing James going for a very early push here, isolating himself from the rest of the team. So, actually, up on the mountain, we could see some more action. Again, this is all very much teetering on the edge. There's a lot of posturing. There's a lot of teams who could potentially fight, but whether they go for it or not is yet to be seen. There'll be a lot of kind of firing at cars, keeping our compound safe. It's not just about giving away position. That is a common factor. You're like, I don't want to give away where I am, but you also don't want teams to be coming towards you. That hillside is looking very dangerous, though. Currently, there's maybe 2, 3 teams, potential of 4, and no safety coming off the back of it either. They're going to have to swing western on that, so keep eyes on that in the back of your minds. But for now, we are seeing the teams just trying to find that safety, that one bit of good ground that they can try and cling on to.
Crest Gaming just chilling as we move across to Genji Black. Sexy Pig, the IGL for this team. Very, very, speaking to some of the cast in the back, super, super aggressive individual. Big shot caller for this one. Does some wild and wonderful stuff. Loves a good old frag. His teammates are quite split. He's only got Grammatic behind him on the hillside. The rest of Genji Black in the form of Unroot and Esther, they're over in the hospital side, but they're quite split.
You speak about veterans, Unroot, Sexy Pig, these guys, we've seen them from the very early days, Gamescom.
Yeah.
I mean, you throw your minds back, if you're a veteran of PUBG, you watched it from the very start of things, you'll know who these guys are. You might be going, why do I know that name? And that's why. These guys play a hell of a lot, and they're a very good side. They were very early to it, and they really put up the numbers. Now let's keep our minds focused on this map as well. That next circle that comes in could push a couple of teams out of nice positions. Liquid is still alive, they're still fine. You can see them kind of keeping control of that, and oh, this is a fun one. Here we go, over towards the west it heads. Everyone, get in your cars, get driving, get those compounds on that western side, on that western coast, and try and stay safe.
Now, if Chiefs were smart about this, in Gatka, they have the level 3 building. They could abuse this. It really is. They could abuse that and go up on top and maybe try and pick up a couple of vehicles on the way by, because this is where everyone just starts to absolutely just blaze it into the circle. If we can get an overview of the map, you will see on the eastern bank, everybody is about to crash into one another. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams. 5 teams are just going to come pouring through Gatka.
This is so many.
This is what I mean. The Chiefs could have a field day here. They really could. If they have the elevated line of sight, they could be smashing these cars.
And I love those tracer flags. Give me them every day of the week. Whoever made that change, you're my new favorite human being. McCoy's had enough of that. He's actually in the little bit of a river there. The little Dipino, though, spots out one. The fire comes in, and the CIS team, or should I say player, not in a good spot here. He struggled last time. And everyone's scrambling for cover. They're scrambling for any position here. There's a lot of room to be moving around here in these fields, and you're seeing teams getting picked up, and actually a couple of them going down early.
Yeah, that's 2 from AHQ, K3 and Winner, which would suggest the bike has gone flying. Winner's been finished off. Crest Gaming come in. Cheyenne says thank you very much for the 15 points. Looking for further afield. 76 players alive, but here comes what I was talking about before. Profit onto Grizzly, the DP. K3 gets finished off again. Wingcrest, another 15 points for them. I like how the, attention to detail, just lining all those vehicles up in a very nice little row. Adding one in a bush.
And there's the previous winners of round 1. This time still sitting pretty in a decent enough position. I'm hearing an M24 in the background, though.
That's another steal from Crest Gaming. Honor was knocked by another team. Another 15 points in their bags. I think that's 35 in total.
Look at these shots God is going for. God V is taking shots so far across the map. Again, there sprays in. Doesn't get much of a connection off the back of it, but again, trying to maybe control position, keep players away, retain this dip, because it's a dangerous one. You've got a couple of lines of sight that you have to be worried about, specifically that hill.
Yeah, when you've got Genji Black chilling on top of it and holding the ground, fair play to them. They've still got a couple of players from CGX also lurking in the mist, so they need to be careful. The Chiefs will have line of sight on them from those Gatka buildings. There is a tree line that's going to at least give them some cover. Echo decides to run his teammate over, so not a great player for him. Let's get him up. Moss is dead as well from the start. That vehicle's not really...
we normally see it, doing a lot of damage. Like the amount of tournaments we'll watch where vehicles, they just run each other over and it's like, oh no, but they're doing okay. So we are seeing gold making their way in as well. Taking their time, making their way through. A little bit of damage from the blue coming through for themselves. But I like the rotation route they've taken. They've gone on the western coast, and I actually really like that from them. Again, if you have watched games back, for example, you'll be looking at the fact that the Na'Vi play down in this area, but you don't know where they are. But you could have a lot of freedom on this coast.
Can I ask you, do you think there's going to be any pressure on these guys coming in as one of the best teams in the world?
Absolutely. There's pressure on every single team here, specifically the ones who come in that top quote-unquote position that everyone's looking at. Now, Liquid doing a late circle position, not unheard of. If you watch the European qualifiers to get to this spot, they occasionally, they're very up and down on this. They'll take longer rotation routes for safety. And I don't mind that at all. You take a bit of blue from the damage, but you put yourself in a good position going forward.
You've got to remember where they've gone. They've gone pretty much all the way up north.
Correct.
And then come back down. They've swung this wide, knowing that everything is going to be clear now.
Yep.
WTSG will have moved away. Genji Black will have moved away. They need to now be careful of where WTSG is set up, though. WTSG is posted just beyond Hospital, in kind of the crossroads. They've actually been picked off, to be fair, as we speak about this. You can see it now on the map. Liquid have arrived. Refund still on the top. Circle pushes in.
Nice and central.
And look at that. Gatka was the place to stay, Chiefs. However, you've given it up and Savage will take over. Myth is still in there, 4AM are in there, TG on the outskirts, and I think it's Crest Gaming, the last people on the right-hand side.
Now, looking at the likes of OMG, for example, they're in a nice spot. 4AM control a big bit of ground here as well. You can see Balak looking for that one. He can be picked up here. Keep your eyes on that map in case he gets caught. Now, Gold, they took a long way in, but now they're going to be under some fire. They spread out the players, but they're not taking too many shots. Everyone's just going to try and hunker down. They're just try and keep the storm away, you know, put up any sort of wall they can to deny anyone coming through. So you're looking at any team that's got good, hard positioning, and this is not good or, you know, decent positioning right now. Voxic could have seen everything here. He's going to back away. Texas isn't far off though either. So these guys might have been just trying to scout out, spot out what's available, and they've seen enough. They're not having that. Na'Vi, take it.
Yeah, watching that one down, bowled a little bit earlier on. It were a bit of an accidental meeting, so to speak. The Knights are going to obviously eject from that one simply because they lost Kremis earlier on. They're already tanked up. I mean, look at his gear, budget helmet on the back, UMP on the front. It's not massively great. I mean, you can still take a fight. Na'Vi, on the other hand, I have seen them go for a crate. So one of those Na'Vi players is tanked up in level 3s and does have a big boy gun. What that big boy gun is, I do not know. You'll hear it if it kicks up in the background. Meanwhile, Miraku, top feed, takes out Peanut. The knock is there. Finally, standing the ground for all this time, Genji Black. Grammatic knocks and finish Ares. They do find the Crest Gaming player that has been lurking on this mountainside. Now, they won't know if there's any more. So the alert gauges are on. Oh, boys, there could be a team here, and that's why they're so fixated and focused directly in front of them. They have to be careful that nobody creeps up behind on the mountain. You wouldn't have thought they would do because of where they are. They can see everything. But they're going to be fixated now on the opposing side.
They'll be definitely keeping that in mind. We are seeing a couple of teams on the eastern side working their way forward, but right now Na'Vi creeping their way in on the southern position, taking control of that hill. Now, they don't get too many eyes on if they don't have some real range to start poking at some of the other teams. There is a dropout for grabs, but it is right in the middle of no man's land. That is not where you want to be found right now. And CGX, who had a pretty decent first game, I'm pretty sure they were within the top 3. So, I mean, they're doing pretty well for themselves. So they could find a bit of positioning here if they can stay in a good spot. They've taken the kind of, I guess it's radio hill, as they like to call it. A couple of other teams will mess with that. But for now, they control the entirety of those fields. But no team is currently being breached or pushed. I guess if you want to look at it, the western side will have a lot of teams kind of, I guess, posturing, vying for a bit of, you know, control and positioning. Liquid could be caught out if they're not too careful of what's behind them. There's a lot of Car 98s there I'm seeing, so they need to be on a bit of a swivel. If Scoom's not aware of this, he could be caught in the back line, so keep your eyes on that kill feed. They've turned around, they do have connections going on towards the north side, so Refund could be in a bit of a predicament now. Not only do they have the blue on their back, but they've got Liquid in front of them.
Genji, no one's a foot up top.
And this is the team we're talking about. They do have range, Rich. This could still be a fight, but there's a time limit on what they can do. They're being slowly but surely pushed forward, but they do have vehicles.
Phase 4 circle won't kill you, but it's going to do so much damage. You need to make sure you're stimmed up, which you can already see Funky M, the yellow bar on there. They've got to move now. They can't lay about for too long.
Look at who's watching.
They're
Actually Black from up top are keeping tabs on all of this. The moment the Liquid stepped out or tried to do anything, Liquid could be pinched here. WTSG are actually keeping tabs on this too. Now the next circle comes through, that hits a little bit further towards the south and drastically towards the west. Every team in the east is getting a move on now. Liquid might be in trouble here, but it's actually the CIS region clashing horns.
Ebat.
That was a shot, hold on.
Yeah, it was Turtle with the 24. Fast rail just smack. How fast that?
500, 600 meters roughly.
Wonderful, love it. Absolutely love it. North America, CIS and CIS. Jeems.
Oh, Jeems, keep that biker going. He does just to get picked up in the end by Vard. That did find him. Jeems is going to be suffering off the back of that. You can see the control on these shots coming through, and the confirmation is theirs. Now Liquid continue to run the gauntlet. Will there be another victim for Vard, or will they make it through? But oh, look at this. There's so much going on. Made in Thailand. Can they stay alive? Surely not. They just got completely leapt upon, but actually, Svit turns it around.
Morphi's on the top of the hill. He needs to try and help his teammates out here. Savage also have eyes on this one. Look at that kill feed. Bodies hitting the floor left, right, and center. They've only lost one. Myth have done quite well here not to have been penalized any more than they have. Eba from Maminu. Maminu onto Pokamolodoi. 2 players there, and Navi Drin is a Molodoi answer back at least. Gaxi onto Meow. Try and keep up with this one. Savage takes out Mortify. We've just lost 3 teams back to back to back in the last 10 seconds. This is what happens when so many people stay alive in TPP and these circles just pretty much force
Look at WTSG, Rich. They are hungry for this. They know it's liquid as well. They want this one. Look at Larson. Look at these guys. Look at Miraku. Vard is finding more victims, but he's out of ammo.
Feels bad, man.
What has he got? He's got a bit of 5-5 there, so he's okay. He's still got something to work with, but he's got to move as well. He was sticking around for quite some time. Hopefully he's got a car or something to work forward. He's fine. He's got a little bit of a bike to jump on. But Gaxi and the other side for his team are well up for this fight, but they can't overextend. They cannot tunnel vision here. There's plenty of teams looking hungry. And one they haven't spoken about who's been a little bit under the radar so far is Ghost in this round at least. They're still sitting pretty. They're okay, but someone who might not be is Wick. Oh, Ragnar! How is he alive?
I have no idea, but 2 of them again. Third-party system. Myth with the 24. What is happening here? Savage took the grenade. He took out his own teammate, but he also at least managed to finish off 2 others before he did.
What is going on? This is a massacre over here. And there's fire from afar. If it couldn't get any worse, you're going to see the likes of Chiefs trying to steal a couple of kills here or there. Get something in their pocket for the trouble that's going on. Timid, living up to the name, trying to cower away behind the smoke and hope for the best. Maybe he can get saved from this, but for now, Wick is just trying to catch his breath. What on earth just happened?
I have no idea how he's alive, but fair play to the man. He's trying to edge his way out the window. You can just see the idea that he's going to get from it. Windcrest again. Pure Boy takes out OHM. Colorist, he's down. Dead. 17 teams up, 54 alive. Ryu, where's your helmet at, my friend? That's been shaved clean off, and all of a sudden, Genji Black, Lauren, they're stepping up and they're moving into WTSG. We heard about this Southern Georgia Paul fight that might happen. Will we finally see it?
Yep, Unroot there, you can see that SKS. Doesn't have too many bullets left on that, but he's keeping WTSG under pressure. Now the revive's going to come in. They're okay. They can recover from this, but now they're put on notice. They can't just be tunnel visioning these fights. There's a lot of players with a lot of eyes keeping tabs on this. Unroot again taps away nicely, but hey, the bars on the windows, we all know what it's like to fight against those as well as the opponents. But for now, WTSG have more things to worry about. CGXX, you might have just seen this. He might have to push on this one. He might have to go. He's just been caught in the heels as well. The nades come through, and they're good for one. Miraku's gone down.
They've still got them in the hand. Are they just going to absolutely... I love these trajectories. It's so amazing to watch. We can actually get information of where they're going to be. Now remember, these did get a big upgrade, did the grenades. 3.5 meter kill box. They could just keep tapping away.
Oh, this could be a field job.
This
could be in the fields.
Samty's down. How many Liquid got alive? Is it 2
I think
or
it's
what?
2. I think 1 left now with possibly Ibby, just the last man standing here. I don't know how many others he has left, and they're all kind of congregating around this hill, and we saw it very early on that CGX had claimed this. This was their stronghold. Now they have lost out on 2. That's an issue, though.
What's a bigger issue is the utility they're working with. I'm seeing no chest, I'm seeing no helmet. I'm seeing Gaxi, who's literally just begging.
4 AM. We know these guys are aggressive, Rich. We know how much they want to go for these fights. Oh, the nade just about doesn't make it through. Gaxi! He gets down 1, though. He's keeping himself alive in this, but the push comes through. And what? He goes down! How is Gaxi alive here? How on earth did that happen? Vard saved him? Where on earth is Vard in all of this? Gaxi is looking like the tastiest bit of bait I've ever seen right now, and God V might be a little bit worried here because Gaxi, he fancies doing it back to the nade. It was so close, but Gaxi wants to confirm this kill. He wants those points, and he wants to ensure these guys do not pester them any longer.
What a fantastic effort.
Oh God, Gaxi's on the run, so is God V. That is going to be in the kill feed any second now. One of those two is going to be meeting up here. OMG keeping Ghost under pressure, not allowing them to rest on their laurels in the field. There's still 17 teams alive. There's still 50 players.
Even if Gaxi doesn't survive, how much damage did he just do to 4 AM? They lost so many players.
Look at that Southern Crunch coming in as well. They are fighting for these compounds, and there's a nice little defilade, a little bit of a lip on this hill to work from. And now OMG, let's see what you've got. Your aggression thoroughly impressed me before, but right now the nades! Silent not being quiet about that at all. That is going to be ringing through the ears of the other side. Crest Gaming, Windfall are going to be struggling off the back. They need to find a reply, and they need to find it now.
I think 4 AM have just gone down. I just saw one of the players from OMG find them. Talk about commitment. CGW here tried to bail on the vehicles, and they've been punished. They've lost one, and all of a sudden Voxy says, well, you know what, we can hit some bullets going off here. I'll take your helmet while you're trying to res him. Not a problem. Commits with a kill, 15 points in the bag.
Knights doing very well for themselves here. Voxic, he even fancies some more. He's spotted out another player. Why not make it harder for Ghost? That's a big name to claim. Great to show you how accurate these guys can be, even at such range. 8 times just sitting up on that mini, but at the moment, we do see that Honey Badgers have gone down. Wick's been found. These guys have been struggling a little bit here, but actually that's a nade and a half coming through. That just found 2-3 players, possibly.
Yeah, Chiefs looking a little bit rough. Then after go up against Made in Thailand, aka Myth, and they're getting aggressive on it. They fancy it. The walking wounded, 3 down, 1 player left. Can they find that lone ranger? There's going to be 2 of them. Edge just got a shotgun. 686 in the bag. It's good up close and personal, but I don't think he'll get the time to do it.
He's healing. He still has to heal, Edge.
Oh, he's gone. 13th position. A little bit unfortunate. Got caught off guard from across the way. Genji Black have just been causing, like, so many people.
Ghost is eliminated. Ghost is done and out. That's huge. That was the winner of the first game, gone. Now the next shift comes in on the east. Let's look at who's in a good position here, Richard. Let's see who's holding those strongholds. Who's got their fortress up high? A couple of nades, though. WTSG, again, kept on notice. They are not getting... That one's looking a little bit worried for Miraku. Got to be careful. And they're going to be trying to build any sort of barrier between each other. They're trying to keep themselves at range. Now, the strongholds who will be in the back of their minds right now, it will be Na'Vi, good positioning. OMG, good positioning. CGW, not bad either. And Made in Thailand, holding good. Everyone else needs to move into this circle, and there is not much ground to be had here.
Lo and behold, who's stepping up? It's Genji Black. They've been a problem for so many teams so far. They'll hit the 2-2 split, 2 sit in the compound, U-Root and Sexy Pig. The aggressors will move up. Smokes are going to go down, so at least they'll take something to work with, maybe allow their teammates to push in. They'll keep the vehicle there. We'll give them, you know, a couple of little walls that they can at least put up. The teammates will follow through. Ibi from Liquid is still alive on the back foot. WTSG, CGX, this could be the big battle for this hill.
Crawling their way forward through the trenches. WTSG slowly but surely working their way forward. On the other side, they're going to be going for the breach. Surely they're trying to use that third-person perspective. They're trying to linger over the top, catch a glimpse, and it looks like Rio might have just caught one, but maybe he doesn't expect Miraku. No, he doesn't. That is a kill, and it's a confirmed one. It looks as though WTSG are working their way forward, and on the run, CG is trying to make a dash for it. They cannot get away. They are found in the end, and it will be WTSG to stay alive and push their way forward.
Genji Gold have just took out Knights. They've gone on the opposing side as well. They're down in 10th place. So both Gold and Black are inside this circle. They're in the fields. They
could turn it on WTSG here. They aren't out of the trouble at all. They're still in real issues. Larson, he can't get away from this too easy. There's pressure coming in everywhere. Genji Black are not letting anyone get out for free.
Look at how much of a swivel the heads are on.
Look at this flank as well. Vard has to be so cautious. He is prone down. This is third person. He's using the cover well. But this player's working their way forward, and Ibi on the hunt, on the crawl, on the prowl. He's spotting all of this happen. Unroot has found Vard. The pressure builds towards them. It looks like WTSG might be done for here. They still have Miraku alive, but that's about it.
Simpson from the opposing organization. Gold on Black here, tanks him up. Sexy Pig hits the deck. He is staying alive here. Yoon's going to put down the smoke, so at least there's some kind of cover for now. But there ain't going to be no respite from this. Everyone's still moving. 9 teams up, 23 in this circle. It's going to be brutal.
Oh, this is a little scary. This makes you sick to your stomach to watch this one unfold. He unleashes, but he can't get it done in time. It's traded. That's only a 1-for-1. That is nowhere near good enough right now. And Mayhem kicks off.
His teammate tries to help, but unfortunately they're going to be nailed as well. 9th place there for AHQ. Ibi, what can he do? He's been spotted. Eska sees him. See you later, Liquid. 8th place for you.
Na'Vi's still in such a stronghold, and they still are. Let's look at that new circle. You've got 2 teams, and that's it. Currently sat pretty. One of the 2 teams towards the south are the only ones who can claim this, and maybe one can make it through the killing fields right now. Eska has been playing very well for his team. We know that he can be a big player, but Miraku is doing just the same for WTSG, or what's left of them. He's the only man standing for these guys. They got torn to shreds trying to take that radio hill. And oh my god, I've been holding onto this for a very long time here.
I can't believe this fight's still going on. This is the one where we saw the grenade earlier on, and nothing else has moved. It's still been this 2 versus 4 engagement. Trying to clip them through the back lines. Na'Vi have got them pinned in, though.
Wait, Silent! Look at this play. He's going on his own. He sees one, but does he expect the second? He doesn't see the second just yet. Mr. Yoppie on the side. He does find him, but there's OMG coming around with the support. Great play from OMG. Aggressive as you'd expect. That's what you want from that team. But can they stay alive? Can they then take on Na'Vi and expect every other team who's coming their way?
This is how it breaks down, though. What is Gold going to do? Genji Black
Na'Vi?
has to... Yes, Na'Vi is sat on this edge there. They could get boxed in by two teams. Genji Gold just rushing in. They fancy a go on this. Drainage goes down. Another one follows. They've only lost Eska so far. They want a piece of this. They're getting stuck in. Ilame's all tanked up at the back as well, and so is Molodoy. This has just gone from bad to worst. All of a sudden, OMG is stepping up to the plate.
Oh my god, Na'Vi are in trouble. They are sweating bullets right now. You can see the pressure. OMG are just eyeing this up. And the nade! What? He blew up the car!
He hit the car.
That's so smart from the remaining Na'Vi players. Ilame does get found in the end. Molodoy is the only man standing, and not for long. Surely that's Na'Vi done for now. OMG still stand with 4 players. Now let's look who remains. We've got 3 teams standing. OMG in a good spot. We have Genji Black, and somehow Miraku is in the back lines.
He needs to just hold on for his dear life and try and get as many points as he can in placement. If he can make it into second and hopefully these two teams just batter the hell out of each other, then great plays for WTSG. Genji Black, 5 kills in the bag. They're inside the circle, but so are OMG on the opposing side too.
But they're not. The thing is, they're not in the greatest of positions either. If you look at OMG, they can get this catchy. Miraku decides to give it up, take the points away from them. Now OMG need to move forward. There's a little bit of a deflate they can move to, but right now, you've got to look at the positions that are currently being had. OMG are being more proactive in this. They're pushing into better positions, whereas Genji Black are resting a little bit on where they are. Now they're going to split into a nice old triangle. They're going to try and hold multiple angles. OMG are sending the hit squad. You've got a 2-man squad heading out towards that eastern side. They're going to try and get the flank, get an angle, and they might have just done that. Fire comes in, but it's being returned. One gets knocked, but they get one back. OMG are laying down fire everywhere they can, and they're actually doing pretty well for themselves right now. We're going to see Genji Black struggling. They're down to 2 players here. Yunroot still alive.
He's trying to get an angle. You can see him.
Grammatic's done for. This is OMG playing a brilliant game. They played this angle excellently. The circle is right in the middle of everything. No one's got an advantage. This is going to be pure firepower, pure brain power, and pure shots coming through. In the car they go. Genji Black are making a mad run for this. They're going to try and do what they can, but OMG still hold the line. It's down to 1.
Yes, Esther.
Esther, the last man standing in a 1v4. They are pushing on that position. OMG want this, and they want it bad, and they're not going to stop before they have it. Esther is there. He heals up. He's desperate to try and hold on here, but he knows step by step they're getting closer. And we said about the aggression. We said what they want to do. The nade, it's good. Oh, he gets
my
one.
God, what?
Esther, what a nade! But can he do any more? Surely not. Surely. This is all on OMG.
Another one knocked on the other backline.
So wait.
It was a 4 versus 1, and now it's a 1 versus 2.
There is still potential here. What can he do in this situation? Can he somehow pull this out? The odds are against him by no small feat. He's going to confirm the kill. If he can, he's going to make it worse. He does not quite get the kill. We'll be seeing them now go down. It is down to a 1v2. Silent and Lion hold the circle. They have it. Esther needs to move. He's got a flash in hand. He's going to make the last stand. He's going to make the mad run through now. 4-1-6. He tries as he can, but it's OMG to pick up game number 2.
And the crowd goes wild.